Hello there, welcome to Conflict News 2042. Breaking news for you from the Middle East, where since Saturday we have been seeing fighting between Palestinian groups and Israeli military. Israel has carried out airstrikes on Syria just a few minutes ago. What was the target? Is Israel expanding the conflict, or is it trying to stop this conflict from expanding? Does Israel want to ensure that it is not cornered on all sides? Details for you in this video. Firstly, uh, around more than 24 hours ago, we saw that mortars were fired on Israeli military from Syrian territory. Golan Heights was the area which is disputed between Syria and Israel, where these mortars were fired. Israeli military retaliated, but that was just one border incident. Except this incident, we have not seen any big escalation from Syria to be part of the war, though we have seen reports of big rallies in support of Palestinians in Damascus. And reportedly, a few hours ago, Bashar al-Assad, Syrian ruler, and Ibrahim Raisi, Iranian president, held a telephone call. Both are allies because we know that Iran supported Bashar al-Assad's government. Iran and Russia saved Bashar al-Assad's government while US was backing Kurds, Al-Qaeda, other groups were operating. Turkey was bombarding parts of Syria too. Since almost a decade ago, more than a decade ago, civil war broke out in Syria. There are several players in Syria, but those players who stood with Syria are Iran and Russia, two main players. So Iran has significant presence in Syria. There are several groups, armed groups operating, Iranian groups, Iran-backed Syrian groups operating in Syria in support of Bashar al-Assad's government. And now, when there is ongoing war between Israel and Palestinian groups of Gaza, there are fears that the war could expand. Groups from Lebanon and Syria could join in. Iran has its proxies in Lebanon too. Lebanon has Hezbollah, which has Iranian backing. Both Lebanon and Syria share border with Israel. So, few minutes ago, Israeli Air Force conducted airstrikes on Syria. What was the target? We're waiting for official statement from Israeli military, but what we have learned so far is that two airports have been hit in Syria. Damascus and Aleppo airports were hit. It's a big escalation from Israel because the target was not against a camp, a small base or a group. Rather, target was two big facilities, Damascus airport and Aleppo airport. Question is, why is Israel conducting strikes on Syria? Isn't Israel expanding the conflict? Israel should try to control the situation. It could be cornered. So why is that? Well, Israel is conducting preemptive strikes. These are preemptive strikes. These two airports could be used by those players who want to support Hamas, who want to support Palestinian groups through Syria. Russians can support Palestinian groups. Iran, specifically Iran, can support. So if Iran sends supplies to Syria, obviously it will send supplies to Syria by air. though by road supplies can also be sent, but I think Israel wants to ensure that airports are not used to send weapons to Syria, and the weapons then could enter Israel, and the weapons could end up in the hands of Iranian proxies in Syria, which then could try to penetrate Israel from Syria. This is what seems to be the thinking behind today's airstrikes on Aleppo and Damascus, but we are waiting for official confirmation. Israel is very much clear that groups from Syria and Lebanon are going to join in, and formation of formation of emergency national unity government in Israel indicates that Israel is preparing for a long war, and it wants to ensure that no one from the north and northeast intervenes in support of Palestinian fighters. That is why airstrikes on Syria, and there could be airstrikes on Lebanon too. So Israel is fully aware of the consequences of these strikes. But I think Israel has estimated that the groups are going to be part of the war in support of Gaza fighters, in support of Palestinian fighters. So that is why Israel should take the lead and crush the groups where they are. It shouldn't allow the groups to enter or to come close to Israeli border. So the war definitely expanding. In the last video, I showed you a clip of the intact missile rocket firing capability of Palestinian fighters, which is still intact. Yes, people are suffering in Gaza, but in terms of military setbacks, Palestinian groups knew that they were going to be target of airstrikes. It has happened in the past as well. We saw several bouts of face-off confrontation between Palestinian fighters and Israeli military. So they were fully prepared. And they are in a position to continue the war. People of Gaza dying, they could start dying because food, water, supplies are running out, Gaza under a blockade, but people don't want to leave Gaza. We must be clear. No one wants to leave Gaza. Only those who are trapped outside as UN workers, etc. They want to leave Gaza. They want to go to safe place. People of Gaza don't want to leave. Let's see how international community responds to these airstrikes, and what is going to be Israeli official position about these airstrikes. My guess is that Israel would say that it targeted Iranian proxies, that Iranian proxies are planning a war on Israel from Syrian soil. That is why preemptively Israel has conducted these airstrikes. Purpose is to stop this war from expanding. We are going to see repercussions. Iranians definitely intervening. They are in Syria, they are in Lebanon, their top level Revolutionary Guards Corps commanders reportedly are in Syria and in Lebanon. They're monitoring the situation, they're planning, they are watching closely the movement of US military assets too. You know that a US carrier strike group has arrived in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea close to Gaza Israeli coastal areas. So this is the overall situation. We're trying to keep you updated. Sometimes mistakes happen, but we try our best to confirm, because as I said earlier, when there is war, there is propaganda, and you have to share news quickly, but at the same time the news must be verified. Sometimes mistakes do happen, but we try our best to confirm, to verify, and rest assured we'll try our best to cover this conflict neutrally. There is no point in covering a conflict if you become part of the conflict. It means you are aggravating the conflict. Best service to a conflict which a man can do is that he should report about the conflict neutrally and suggest solutions. That is the way of forward. Thanks for watching.